Hello, everybody. My name is Ben Barber. Welcome back to 321 Go. I am very excited because today we have on the winner of our video commercial giveaway contest, which is exciting. And I'm also excited because this man is a tremendous business owner, a wonderful human being, and he does a lot for his community. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the owners of Elena's Ale House, Ryan Moran. Hey, Ryan, how are you? Oh no, Ryan, I can't hear you now.
I apologize. I had gotten a phone call and I had to block it real quick.
That's okay.
Are we
That
back in business?
happens.
All right.
That happens sometimes. So, how are you? Congratulations, by the way, on the video.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you know, you and I have to get together so that we can discuss what you want that to look like.
Sure.
But tell us a little bit about Elena's.
Sure. So Elena's is many things. At this point, it started as a small 70-seat pub in Richmond, located at the Beaver River Golf Course. Myself and my best friend Chris opened that in May of 2018, and we took that location and grew it into a full service restaurant that's open year round. And as time went on, we went on to open Elena's Coffee and Kitchen at the onset of the pandemic, and then mid-pandemic, Elena's Coffee and Kitchen of West Greenwich, all while turning that ale house into an enormous outdoor venue where we had music, a 1,200 square foot tent, a 60-seat outdoor bar, and a number of big community events. So our little pub has become much more than we initially bargained for, but that's a good thing.
And speaking of Elena's, Elena is your daughter.
Yeah.
So you also
Elena is a 6-year-old girl, and my best friend, my daughter, who was the namesake of the restaurant, and thinks that she's the most famous person in all of South County, which is great.
Yeah. I mean, I think that she has a case for that. So my question is, where do you have the energy? How do you get the energy to not only run the ale house, but then these two coffee and kitchen establishments, starting them both? I assume that the first one had some plans beforehand, but but both of them were started during the pandemic.
Yep.
Like, what kind of crazy person has a 6-year-old at home and then opens two other businesses while running a restaurant in the middle of a pandemic? What are you doing, and how can we all get in on it?
Oh my gosh. I guess a little bit of it is that I'm an insane person, and I just constantly want growth. That's what I want for myself and for my family and the people that we work with. But really, I have to give most of the credit to the team of people that work with me. So certainly can't do it all yourself. I certainly do not. Carla, my fiance, Elena's mom, is very hardworking, and although she has a daytime job, helps hold it down at the ale house. And then Chris, my business partner, he wears the coffee hat in West Greenwich, and then we've got a great manager at the Richmond location for that coffee shop. So not to mention the 60 plus employees we have who are all qualified to run it themselves. I feel like we've got a good squad of people. Got lucky with some great hires.
That's the best, isn't it? When you feel like your employees don't need you.
Yeah.
Like it's
nice to be needed a little bit here and there, but other times I'm happy to. Yeah.
That's true. It is nice to be needed.
Yeah.
So that is all fantastic news. I cannot wait to come down to Elena's and plan out this video shoot with you, and to do that. I'm very excited to get the drone up there because your restaurant sits on this gorgeous golf course.
Yeah.
So
we did just take down the tent and wrap up the bar, but
that's fine. We can add that in whenever.
All right. Cool.
When is so let's talk a little bit about your altruism, because I think that needs to be spoken of. There are many things that I can think of that you guys did creatively since the beginning of the pandemic, and I believe you have a new venture. a new idea that you're doing at the moment that I saw. But um, when the Washington County Fair went fully virtual,
Yeah.
you did you had like fair favorites, and you recreated some of those things. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I'm just going to go through the things that I remember
Sure.
and ask you to explain them. So explain what you did the first year that the fair was virtual.
Yeah. So it's not known by many, but I cut my teeth as a bartender at what was the Hope Valley American Legion. It has unfortunately since closed and is now a beautiful house right on Locustville Pond. But
That's a
anyway,
gorgeous. I want that house. I spent
yeah,
so many days at the American Legion with my uncles as a little boy. That would be the coolest house. Whoever
yeah,
has that.
really, really cool. I
Yeah,
yeah, I wish I got it myself. It's beautiful. They did a
yeah.
great job with the
I'll
remodel.
fight you for it.
And I apologize for the shaky camera. I probably should invest in a tripod. But anyway, what do we do at the fair? So, oh yeah, what I was going to say is I'm friendly with a lot of the folks at the American Legion still, and a number of the other booths. So, being a local restaurant and knowing a lot of the local folks at the fire squad, ambulance crew, so on and so forth, you gather the understanding that the Washington County Fair is kind of an enormous event for their fundraising efforts annually. And for them to lose that really limits what they can do for the community and for themselves. And, you know, they have buildings to upkeep and so on and so forth. And when you're a nonprofit and you don't have a lot of money coming in, then how are you going to do those things? So, um, you know, my love for fair food mixed with the knowledge that they were losing out in a huge way, I came up with the idea to instead, for that week when the fair would have taken place, and it still did virtually, of course, to spotlight some of those foods and some of those booths and vendors. And some of them actually came and volunteered to help execute. And for 5 days straight, we did some fair favorites, and all of the proceeds from those items went directly to that booth that was missing out on the sale. So over the course of 5 days, it's been a little over a year now, so I don't remember the exact number, but it was significant that we were able to donate to those folks. So that was
Um,
cool.
and then this year, actually, you went. I'm skipping over a
Sure.
couple other things, but then this year you actually had a booth at the fair yourselves.
Yeah, that was neat. So the South Kingston sports boosters were unable to attend through some lack of volunteer help, so on and so forth. So they offered their booth to us, and we made a donation in kind, and we were able to participate, which has kind of been aside from performing music at the Wood River Inn or on the stage at the Washington County Fair. My next dream was to sell food at the Washington County Fair, and we checked that box this year. So there we
Yeah,
go.
you did it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Big
I
dreams from a small town boy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hosted and produced the virtual Washington County Fair, as
Yeah.
you know. And then this past year they invited me back to do all of the social media and to host like a daily vlog on
Yep.
their social channels. And like a week before the fair, I'm just on the grounds by myself with my camera,
Yep.
and I'm looking around, and the booth that is the SK Sports Boosters booth that was Elena's booth this year is it was the Oddfellows booth in like the 90s when I was a little boy, and it was the booth that my mom volunteered at with her friends.
Yeah.
And so every year I would go, and that was like where I lived, was that booth. And it was so cool, and it was like, obviously, so my mom passed last year, and my dad passed like the day before the Washington County Fair went virtual in 2020. So when I'm doing this loop with the camera, I'm like about to get emotional going up to this booth for the first time. And then Kate, who is like the guru of the fair, Kate Fish, shout out to her. I'm like, hey, so what's up with this one? And she's like, oh, the SK Sports Boosters aren't going to be here this year. Don't like put that on the thing, like, because I'm like, okay, who is it? And she was like, Elena's Ale House. And I like literally cried
Oh my
like
gosh.
a little bit because I was so happy that it was you. Um, because of the stuff that you had done for the nonprofits the year before, and because uh you know, we obviously, like, you and I were friends,
Yep.
um and I, know and knew and love your dad. My mom adored your father, and
Yep.
like, just like the whole thing felt really like perfect to me, and I was so happy that it was you guys. And
Oh,
then
that's awesome.
I got to see you a couple times during the fair, and that was really nice.
Yep. I think both times you bumped into me, I was ripping my hair out stressed, but we
You
made
were
it through that week.
mid I have an amazing spot of you. I have an amazing B-roll of you that I couldn't use during the fair. I will use it someday,
Yeah.
and it's you. It's me going, "Hey Ryan, can you got a couple you got a couple seconds for an interview?" And you were like, "So listen, right now we don't have an oven, and if we don't have an oven, we don't have pot pies,
Yeah.
and that's the whole booth, man.
Yeah.
So I can't do it right now, but swing back by later."
Yeah, that was a stressful 48 hours getting that last we ended up buying an oven. It was wild. Yeah.
And
But all went well.
my favorite part of that was you were like, "Are you live?" And I was like, "How would I be live right now?"
That's
Um,
always the concern. Well, you know what? I've a tendency to always say something off color and put my foot in my mouth. So even right now, I'm being very mindful.
mhm.
Yeah.
First question before we started, "Is this live?" And I was like, "No, it's not gonna be live. Don't worry."
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, I loved that. I loved everything that you did there. Very, very cool. Um, Thanksgiving last year
Yeah.
was huge. Was huge at Elena's. Tell us a little bit about what you did.
Sure. So I grew up. My father 100% Irish, my mother 100% Italian. These big family holidays, and we're driving all around the state and getting in 2 meals, which was always a treat. But Thanksgiving was always a big family day, and the pandemic changed the landscape of what that holiday was going to be for folks last year. Um, when we were told to keep it to one household and not travel, um, there were going to be countless amounts of families who maybe didn't have the means to prepare an entire turkey dinner with all the fixings, and other folks who would just go without because they maybe didn't want to prepare that meal, and we're going to miss out on some serious nostalgia and good times. So um, we decided that we were going to do a drive-through dinner and donate a Thanksgiving dinner to anyone who wanted to pull through that morning. So no one should go without turkey stuffing and all the good stuff. So um, we had an awesome crew of volunteers. Some folks at Rycan came down, um, some other friends, and it was a really cool morning. It was pouring buckets. It was raining all
Yeah,
over
yeah,
us.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
we
I
ended up
forgot about that.
we had roughly 600 people, I think, pull through, and then we're had enough extra food to drive down to Christ Church of Westerly and donate the additional food to them, because they were doing the same thing as us. So
Yeah,
yeah.
very cool. What else? There's other things that you did bingo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did
Yeah,
like,
so it kind of all started right when we didn't skip a beat when all the restaurants closed. We were a fledgling young restaurant without any savings, and it was like, okay, are we just going to close at this point? It was impossible. So myself, Chris, and our chef at the time said, let's keep the takeout thing going. So day one, takeout only. We said, okay, there's going to be a lot of folks who are out of work, a lot of folks who aren't going to have, um, you know, there's food scarcity locally. The stop and shop was just void of any food on the shelves. So we started doing takeout, but making sure that each night there was an $8 or $9 dinner special. We stocked toilet paper that you could add onto your pickup order. It was just a wild time. But we really built a solid takeout business doing that. And then what was that? Then we did that first drive-through dinner, because there were, takeout can keep a decent amount of people employed, but maybe not the whole team. So we had bit of layoffs for some of the front of house staff. Um, and although they were able to collect, sometimes there's a delay in how that happens. And we said, let's do something that can help those folks out. So we did a free dinner for the entire town, and I've got some crazy footage of that. But it was our first ever drive-through dinner, and I think we did it before you saw any other, local businesses
Yep.
following suit. But there was a stretch of cars that went from our lot well past Route 112 in Richmond School. And it was backed up for hours, and people just waited in line. It was a free roast chicken dinner. And if you could and you wanted to, you could make a donation that went directly to the staff. And that particular event raised over $10,000 of cash that we were able to then bonus to some staff that hadn't seen any money in quite a while. And, in addition to feeding a lot of folks locally, and just kind of, it was all, I don't know, it was beautiful. It was without a doubt one of the coolest things I've been a part of. So
And
that
then,
was that was our first little one. And then we did Thanksgiving and some other drive-through dinners and some other events like that. The Christmas sweepstakes, that was a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah. So the Christmas sweepstakes was from Black Friday through Christmas Eve. Any takeout order or in-house order that you placed, your receipt went into a daily drawing. And we just took money from our own personal budget and went and bought gift cards to all local restaurants throughout Richmond and Hope Valley, local businesses, places to get your hair cut, places to get an oil change, whatever it may be, and just kind of paid it forward. We had a good year through the help of our community, and wanted to do that for them as well. So essentially, you dine at Elena's, you get a chance to win, and every day we'd go Facebook Live and pull a random receipt, and that person could come and get their gift card. So we gave $50 away to local businesses every day for a month, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This stuff is ridiculous when you put it back to back like this.
Yeah, I don't think I slept a wink in 2020.
No, I don't think you did either. So, okay. In the midst of all that, you open Elena's Coffee and Kitchen.
Yep.
In Wyoming. Is that technically Richmond? Where
Richmond,
would you consider?
Wyoming, yeah.
Yeah.
Right on Route
So in Richmond on 138, by the way, I'm very excited. I get my haircut right next to there.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited because I have a haircut scheduled. As you can tell, I desperately need it at the moment. And I'm very excited to also stop and get lunch that day. Cool. So yeah, it's the thing that makes getting a haircut more bearable. But so you open that at the very beginning of the pandemic, and then you're like, you know what? This isn't enough. I need to open another one. Tell us about the coffee places and Coffee and Kitchen. I mean, it's like it's amazing.
Sure. Yeah. So the first Richmond Cafe, when we opened that, it was kind of serendipitous for me. Elena, from her birth through the day that it became available, we got coffee there, Carla and myself, and we brought our daughter almost every day to what was formerly Fresh Ground Garden Cafe. The Clarks did a great job with that spot. I grew to know and love them, and a lot of their staff was fantastic. But anyway, they had this little concrete Scottish Terrier that sat in the garden out front, and every day we would go through and Elena would want to sit on that dog for a photograph. So we have photographs of her, from infancy through her toddler years. And then next thing you know, the cafe becomes available. And I thought to myself, it's a stone's throw from our restaurant. We know and love the space, and I love coffee, and I just knew we could pull it off. I knew that it would work out. We were able to grab it, and then then the pandemic set in, and we weren't going to allow people to come into the small space, so we decided to convert the face of the restaurant into that of almost like an ice cream shop. It was a walk-up cafe.
Yep.
And we did that from, I believe it was March when we opened, or April. Yeah, because the pandemic started on essentially St. Patrick's Day. So we opened it up in April. And we stayed as that takeout only window service all the way until maybe the start of June. And then you could come in and place your orders. But Yeah, it's just local produce, fresh baked bread delivered daily, and just a really good sandwich and salad menu. Some of the better breakfast sandwiches you can grab, and really good roasted coffee from Mills out of Providence. So some cool flavors there. You can't go wrong with their French vanilla.
And then is the new one just a different location?
So
Same.
the new one is almost, it's identical in nature with the exception of our we've got a little more of a barista element there with we're using Lavazza dark roast for our house brew, and some Italian robusto Italian espressos, but we still use Mills for all of our flavored coffees, and the sandwich menu is identical. Yep. So it's
And
the
where
same
is
experience with the exception of a drive-through, which was something to learn about, and we're doing all right with it now.
there's a
Opening a
drive-through?
drive-through was tough. There's a drive-through at that one. Yep.
Where is this located?
It's West Greenwich, right off of exit 6. So if you get off of exit 6,
Yep.
heading northbound, you take a left like you're heading into Coventry,
Yep.
and we're on the right. As a true Rhode Islander, I'll say it was a former Bess Eaton and then Tim Hortons, and now it's an Elena's Coffee and Kitchen, for that matter.
I love it. What's next? What are you going to open in 6 months as you do?
So I have many plans, but I'm not able to do anything as promised to my family until they know that I can move forward without. I'm rapidly getting grays, so
Same.
we'll see. I don't find myself to be all that stressed lately.
Good.
But I'd love to do more. I think that Elena's Coffee and Kitchen is something that is a scalable business. It's something that we could open, many of. The menu is dialed in where we can get the same product at every place all the time, and the prep it's just a lot more organized than that of a full service bar and pub and restaurant. Particularly working with a lot of raw proteins right now.
Yep.
It's nearly impossible. I mean, staying consistent in the restaurant world is difficult right now. That will change, I'm sure. But food scarcity, particularly in bulk, is very difficult right now. Something as simple as a dozen eggs have gone up 60 cents in just this week from a provider. So anyways, to answer your question, hopefully many businesses. I just turned 36. I've got some time.
You do have some time. What is what's your favorite thing that you do?
Oh gosh. In the work world, and my favorite thing that I do is hang out with my daughter.
There you go. That's
Yep,
fine. That's a
that's
good enough.
that.
And
Yeah.
that's no, I knew,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. Lately it's play Roblox with my daughter. That's a little game she's turned me on to. That her and all of her 6-year-old friends go nuts for.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about, because you have ingrained yourself in the fabric of your community?
Yeah.
What is, and again, like with the Christmas sweepstakes, like that was not only helping Elena's, it was you and helping the people. You were literally buying gift certificates to other local businesses and then promoting other local businesses.
Yeah.
While you were doing it, which was just so fantastic.
Well, I'm a firm believer that I don't believe in competition with respect to like business to business competition, or the more people that check out the Wood River Inn or Dragon Palace is just more people getting off of exit 3, coming into our community, checking out restaurants, maybe driving by our particular restaurant saying, hey, let me check that out next time. Similar with those food truck events that happen, it got a lot of people out of the house. And although maybe when there was a food truck event that particular night, the ale house wasn't as busy, but you saw it afterwards. And with the Washington County Fair, that particular week, a quiet week for a restaurant in a close proximity to the fair, but the weeks surrounding and afterwards always had this little boom. If you could really just show that that you were doing your part in the community as well, and that you wanted to be a part of the big picture, I think people respond in kind, and that's really it. There are a lot of places that you can go and get a burger or a shepherd's pie, maybe not a tremendous braised beef shepherd's pie. But the long and short of it is, people go out to eat all the time in many different places, and it's more so, I feel, the experience, whether it be through service or ambiance or the way a certain person in the building spoke to you that day, that makes you want to go back. Good tasting food is very important as well. That, that's a large part of it. But I think a responsible business in this particular time is a lot more about what you're doing versus how you're doing it.
Yeah,
If that makes
absolutely.
sense, right? That sounded a little bit
No,
strange.
I think it's absolute. I think that's wonderful. I want to say thank you personally, for one very special thing that you did for me many years ago, and that is that you taught me that you could take a slice of cheese and put a little bit of willow tree chicken salad in it, and it was delicious. And you did that when we worked at Subway together for like 3 months in high school. and I just want to say thank you. It meant a lot to me.
I'm glad I was able to show you that
I
wild
do
trick.
I do genuinely think whenever I see something from Elena's, I think Ryan Moran. The first thing I think is the first thing I think is Subway Willow Tree Chicken Salad 2003. That's all. That's the only thing I think of. And then I'm like, oh yeah, all of the other stuff. But it's mainly the chicken salad.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of chicken salad these days.
Dude, I hated chicken salad until you were like, no, just put it in here. And I was like, okay. And now I have not had willow tree in a long time, but the idea of that was very wonderful.
Fantastic.
The dumbest thing ever, but I've always thought of you. Yeah, if anybody buys chicken salad, I think of you. I don't understand why. Do you ever play music anymore?
No, that's maybe a goal of mine. You know what? It was a huge part of my life for a very long time. I toured the better part of the East Coast and Midwest with my best friends for a number of years. And then, to be honest, when I started working in the restaurant world, and Friday and Saturday nights being like you're gonna be working that night, you lose out on a lot of opportunity in the music world. And we all ended up growing up and having kids and finding careers of our own. But I still keep in touch. Yeah, opening 3 restaurants. But going to the concert last week really made me say, damn, I should be doing this again. But I just need to find it more hours in a day. We'll figure out how that works.
That was a joke because other members of your band have also now opened restaurants.
That's true. Yeah, check out Bomb Burritos and Bowls down in Westerly.
What is it about the old Knuckle Down Midnight Renewal, right?
Yep.
Midnight Renewal crew that has led to such great restaurateurs?
I don't know. You know what, Chad? I was managing a restaurant at the casino, and Chad had just come back from a graphic design school in Florida, and he was struggling to find work locally. And I said, just come work at the restaurant. And I ended up working with the old drummer of my band, Evan, and Chad, all at a fine dining Italian spot in the casino for a number of years. And we all just fell in love with the industry. Evan found his way out. Chad and I are digging deeper.
Very cool. Yeah. I'd love to see a reunion someday.
Maybe we'll do it. We'll see.
I mean, if only there was like a place that was like outside, like a nice restaurant that had like a little concert area outside. What do you think?
We'll see.
I think you should commit right now on this live stream.
Oh my word.
Summer 2022.
Oh gosh.
Summer 2022, get the band back together for a big show at Elena's.
We'll see.
I'm going to push you for 2022.
All right, keep pushing.
I will renege on the video offer. We will pull another name out of the I have the hat right here. I'll pull another name out of the hat if you don't promise to try to get the band back together. No. All right. So where can people find out more information about Elena's Ale House, Elena's Coffee and Kitchen, Elena's
Sure.
Bowling Alley, which I'm sure you'll open soon?
Hey, you're not too far off.
I didn't assume I would be.
Yeah.
I didn't assume I would be.
No, so elenasalehouse.com. There you can find everything that's going on with the restaurant, as well as links to our social media accounts. We are on Facebook and Instagram. And then there is elenascoffee.com, which has, menu, directions, address for the 2 locations, as well as their links to social as well. So that's where you can find us, or just come to the physical restaurant location, and you're bound to see either myself or Chris. And if not, I can assure you, you'll still get great service and a smile from whoever it is that says hello that day.
I might drive up to the drive-through one in West Greenwich like
Check it
tomorrow.
out. We have a nitro cold
Just
brew
'cause.
coffee there that's unbelievable. Yeah.
That's and it's the same sandwich menu as Richmond?
Yep.
That's fantastic. All right. Well, I know what my morning looks like now. Thank you, Ryan, so much, and you and I will talk off air soon.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
One of the nicest men ever. It like there were so many wonderful businesses and organizations that threw their name literally into the hat to get that free commercial, and all of them were so deserving, which is why we literally just picked the name out of a hat. And I'm happy that it went to Ryan and to Elena's, because they have done such wonderful work for their community, the community that Ryan and I grew up in. And I'm thrilled about that. So go check out Elena's Ale House. Go check out Elena's Coffee. Just go. Seriously, if he opens up a bowling alley, go to it, because it's going to be the best bowling alley in town. Whatever Ryan and Chris do is going to work, because they have a magic touch, and it starts with who they are as human beings. So this has been 3, 2, 1, go. If you know somebody that is a beacon of hope and positivity, and is just going out and doing things in their community, and with positive things with their life, let me know. Send me an email. I'd love to talk to them. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you soon.